All right, listener, get ready for a deep dive, into fantasy Premier League strategy. We're going to unpack the latest developments and figure out how to navigate these upcoming double game weeks.
Yeah, double game weeks, they're definitely a game changer. They really force us to rethink our strategies and maybe make some bold moves to maximize our points.
Absolutely. And the recent confirmation of double game week 25 has really thrown a wrench into a lot of plans. Now, for anyone new to this, a double game week means certain teams play twice. So that gives your FTL players from those teams two chances to score points instead of one. It's a massive opportunity, but it demands a shift in strategy.
Yeah, it certainly does. This double game week 25 hinges on the League Cup semifinals. So if Liverpool wins, then Aston Villa and Liverpool will both have a double game week. But if Tottenham pulls off an upset, it'll be Fulham and Spurs enjoying those double fixtures.
So we've got a little bit of a wait and see situation, but the bookies are giving Aston Villa and Liverpool a 62% chance of getting that double game week. What makes them the favorites in your view?
Well, if you look at Liverpool's recent form, they're looking dominant. They're hungry for silverware, and they seem likely to prioritize the League Cup. Aston Villa, while maybe not as strong a contender, still has a decent chance of progressing, especially considering how unpredictable cup competitions can be.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's say Liverpool does win, which seems likely. We're potentially looking at back-to-back double game weeks with game week 24 already here. This changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely does. For those who've already loaded up on Liverpool players, it might even mean taking a point hit,
Yeah.
accept a deduction of points, just to re-optimize their squads. This late in the season, every point matters, so it's a tough call.
It's a high-stakes game for sure. But let's talk about a potential secret weapon, the assistant manager chip. This powerful tool lets you make unlimited transfers for a single game week. And I have to say, I'm seriously considering activating it.
Wow, that's a bold move, but potentially a brilliant one. Using the assistant manager chip this week for those potential doubles could give you a significant edge. It's all about timing and maximizing those opportunities.
Exactly. And I'm actually planning on activating mine on slot this week. I know some people might be wondering, why slot? Why not chase those explosive points with Moyes?
Hmm.
But there's a strategic reason for this.
Yeah, it's all about understanding the finer details. While Moyes might seem appealing, we have to consider bonus points. Liverpool only has one match in their next three that's eligible for those bonus points. The matches against Palace and Manchester United in game weeks 25 and 26 don't qualify.
So while Moyes might deliver some points, the projected points for slot in game week 24 are significantly higher. 14.5 for slot compared to 11.3 for Moyes. It's about maximizing our gains right.
Precisely. This highlights why a deep dive into the data is so important. It's not just about picking big names. It's about understanding the nuances of the game and making informed decisions.
Now, I know not everyone can activate the assistant manager chip this week. Maybe you've already used it, or maybe your budget just won't allow it. What are some alternative strategies for those listeners?
There are definitely other options. One strategy is to focus on freeing up funds to activate it on slot next week if they end up with a double game week. You could also hold on to it and target future double game weeks, like game week 33 and 36.
Right. There are those massive double game weeks later on. Plus, there's a chance Palace could have three fixtures with bonus point potential in game week 31. And Liverpool has a really favorable run of fixtures from game week 31 onwards.
Exactly. So even if you can't jump on the assistant manager train this week, there's still plenty of time to leverage its power strategically. It's all about analyzing the upcoming fixtures, understanding the point potential, and making those calculated moves. FPL is a marathon, not a sprint.
Couldn't agree more. Now let's shift gears and talk transfers. One move that's been buzzing in the FPL community is Gordon to Bournemouth midfielders. It's definitely tempting, especially with Newcastle's double game week coming up.
Yeah, it's a move with potential, no doubt. Newcastle's double game week is a great opportunity. However, we have to consider those possible double game weeks in game week 25. If Aston Villa and Liverpool do get those doubles, players like Watkins and Rodgers suddenly become very attractive.
That's a great point. So the Gordon to Bournemouth midfielders move might be more appealing for those who are prioritizing Newcastle's double and are less concerned about the potential for Aston Villa and Liverpool.
Precisely, it's all about weighing those risks and rewards. And let's not forget, Bournemouth has a fantastic run of fixtures coming up, and they won't be blanking in game week 29, which is a significant advantage.
All right, let's take a look at a recommended team for double game week 24, courtesy of The Scout. They're known for their FPL expertise, and their picks are causing quite a stir in the community.
Let's break it down and see what strategic insights we can glean from their choices. Their picks could offer valuable guidance for anyone looking to optimize their squad for this crucial game week.
Exactly. This deep dive is all about giving you the tools to make those game-changing decisions. Now let's get into the specifics of this recommended team and see where we might agree or even respectfully disagree with the experts.
I'm ready to analyze and dissect. Remember, listener, it's not just about blindly following expert advice, but understanding the reasoning behind it and adapting it to your own FPL strategy.
So the scout has Pickford in goal, which is a bit of a surprise considering Everton's recent form.
Yeah, it is an interesting choice. Perhaps they're banking on a resurgence for Everton. Or maybe it's just a budget-saving move to free up funds for stronger players in other positions. It's all about finding that balance.
Makes sense. In defense, they've gone with Trent, Hall, and me. Solid choices, especially Trent with his attacking potential.
Oh, Trent is almost a must-have for any serious FPL manager. His ability to create chances and just contribute to goals from a defensive position, it makes him so valuable. Hall and me offer a blend of defensive solidity and, potential for attacking returns as well.
I'm liking their thinking so far. In midfield, they've got Salah, obviously, as captain, alongside Palmer, Bumo, and Alonga. A good mix of proven performers and potential breakout stars.
Yes, Salah is the captaincy choice that needs no explanation. Palmer has been showing glimpses of brilliance for Chelsea, and with their double game week, he could be a real differential. Bumo is a consistent performer for Bournemouth, and his value is enhanced by their favorable fixture run. Alonga is perhaps the riskiest pick, but his pace and potential for attacking returns make him an interesting gamble.
I agree. Now, up front, they've gone with Isak, Gakpo, and Darwin. A potent trio, but I have a slight adjustment I'm considering.
Oh, I'm curious to hear your thinking. What alteration are you pondering?
Well, I'm leaning towards swapping me for an Everton defender, maybe Tarkowski. His expected goal involvement, or XGI, is really high, meaning he's likely to be involved in goals either scoring them or assisting.
Right, for those unfamiliar with XGI, it's a statistic that measures the quality of chances a player gets to score or assist. It's a good indicator of attacking threat, even for defenders.
Exactly. And while me is solid, Tarkowski's XGI makes him a tempting differential. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm all about finding those little edges.
It's a calculated risk, for sure. But as we've discussed, taking calculated risks is part of what makes FPL so exciting. It's about trusting your analysis and making those bold decisions.
Speaking of bold decisions, let's talk captaincy. Salah is the obvious choice, right? The man is a machine. He's on pace to break his own FPL points record.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with Salah as captain. He's like the safest bet for a big haul of points. However, for those who like to live dangerously, Trent presents an intriguing alternative.
Trent as captain. Now that's a real differential. What makes you think he could outperform Salah?
It's all about those attacking returns. If Liverpool keeps a clean sheet in both their games and Trent chips in with an assist or even a goal, he could potentially outscore Salah. But it's a high-risk strategy for sure.
It definitely is. You'd be banking on a lot going right for Trent, whereas Salah is almost guaranteed to deliver points regardless of the outcome. It's a tough call.
It is. Ultimately, the captaincy decision comes down to your risk appetite. Are you playing it safe or going for the big swing? There's no right or wrong answer.
All right, before we wrap up, let's share our personal strategies. I've already made one transfer, bringing in Bumo for Gordon. I'm pretty happy with my team overall, but I need to free up 1.5 million to activate that assistant manager chip on slot. To do that, I'm planning on Wood to Darwin and Muniz to me this week.
Interesting moves. It sounds like you're fully committed to maximizing your potential for this double game week, even if it means making some tough sacrifices.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. Even if Liverpool doesn't end up with the double game week in game week 25, I'll still have 5 players with double fixtures in game week 24. It's not a complete disaster. Plus, the odds are in favor of Liverpool progressing.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're mitigating the risk while still aiming for that big upside. It's a calculated gamble, which is the name of the game in FPL.
Exactly. Now, what about you? What are your plans for this crucial double game week?
Well, I'm in a slightly different position. I've already used my assistant manager chip earlier in the season, so I need to be more strategic with my transfers. I'm considering bringing in Watkins and Rodgers if Aston Villa and Liverpool get those doubles, but I'm also keeping an eye on other potential differentials.
It sounds like you're taking a more cautious approach, waiting to see how things unfold before making any drastic moves.
That's right. Sometimes patience is key in FPL. It's tempting to react impulsively to every bit of news, but often the best strategy is to wait for the dust to settle and then make informed decisions based on the latest information.
I like that approach. It's a good reminder that FPL is as much about mental discipline as it is about tactical knowledge.
Absolutely. It's a game of patience, strategy, and a little bit of luck.
Hmm.
And that's what makes it so compelling.
It really is anyone's game, and that's what keeps us coming back for more. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to revisit that idea you mentioned earlier about FPL being like a mirror.
Ah, yes. The reflection of our footballing souls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We put so much of ourselves into this game, our knowledge, our hopes, and sometimes our irrational impulses.
It's true. We analyze every stat, we agonize over every transfer, and, we celebrate every point like it's a World Cup victory.
And those moments of madness, those last-minute captaincy switches or those risky transfers that backfire spectacularly, they're all part of the journey.
They are indeed. FPL is a game that teaches you to embrace the unpredictable. Just when you think you have it all figured out, something unexpected happens.
Yeah.
And you're forced to adapt.
It's a constant learning process. And that's what makes it so engaging. It's more than just a game. It's a way to connect with your passion for football on a deeper level.
I couldn't agree more. And the sense of community within FTL is incredible. People from all over the world come together to share their strategies, their triumphs, and their frustrations.
It's a global phenomenon, and it's amazing to be a part of it. So as we head into these double game weeks and beyond, what final piece of advice would you give to our listeners?
I would say trust your instincts. But don't be afraid to seek out knowledge and advice from others. There's a wealth of information available online. From podcasts like this to articles and forums, the key is to absorb that information, process it, and then make the decisions that feel right for your team.
Well said. It's a balance of knowledge, instinct, and a little bit of luck. But most importantly, remember to have fun. At the end of the day, FPL is a game, and it should be enjoyed.
Exactly. So go out there, make those bold transfers, captain your heroes, and embrace the roller coaster ride that is Fantasy Premier League.
We'll be right here with you every step of the way, offering insights, analysis, and maybe a few laughs along the way. Good luck, everyone, and may your arrows be green.